Serving their community is who they are because they love where they live. REMAX 3D Real Estate is proud to bring you Heart of Farmersville, a video series dedicated to celebrating all the wonderfully great things about Farmersville, Texas. On every episode, Dennisha Thacker will share Farmersville's story through the stories of the people who call Farmersville home. This is Heart of Farmersville.
Hey y'all, I'm Dennisha Thacker, your host of Heart of Farmersville, and today we're sitting down at 12 Stories in downtown Farmersville with Miss Patti Meguire. How are you today, Patti?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I know when you walked in the door, I kind of had to reintroduce myself since we met at the Rotary Club one day. That's awesome. So I want our audience to get to know you. That's why we sit down and tell the stories of the people who live and work here.
Okay.
And find out what you love about Farmersville. So let's kind of talk about first your company and what you do, because normally you're done in tax season. When April 15th comes, your life gets a lot easier, but this year's a little different.
This year and last year. Last year they extended the due dates all the way through July 15th. This year for Texans it's through June 15th. So we still have some more time to get all our filings done. So we're still pretty busy this time of year.
I bet. So tell us a little bit about your practice. Like, how did you start? Like, what made you get involved in taxes?
I started in high school, actually. I started with our work program. I went to Blaine High School up in Minnesota, and they had a work program, and one of the companies that I got assigned to was a CPA firm.
Oh.
And when I was 16 years old. I loved it. I absolutely, truly loved it. And I've been in public accounting ever since.
Really? So did your teacher just randomly pick that position for you? How crazy is that?
I know.
It's almost like it picked you then.
Very, very much so, yes.
So what did you start out doing when you were 16 and working there?
Yeah, I started just doing basic work, like the firm bookkeeping, writing checks, doing payroll, and all kind of the, entry-level stuff.
Right.
And I just loved it.
So what did you do once you graduated from high school? Did you continue that path then?
Yep. I've always been in public accounting ever since then.
Oh, wow. So how many people work in your firm? Is it just you? Is it?
Great question. We have 2 locations. We have a location here in Farmersville and one also in Plano. And we have a total of 6 employees.
Oh, man. Wow. Now, other than taxes, what else do you do? Or is that your main focus?
Yeah, we're a full-service CPA firm, so we cater our services to whatever our clients' needs are.
Okay.
We do bookkeeping, we do payroll, we do audits, we do any kind of services that they need. We kind of become their accounting department.
Oh, that's great. We all need that.
Yes.
Everyone in business and personally, people need their accountants. So did you open the Plano or Farmersville office first? Which one?
So great question. Prior to us moving to Farmersville, we lived in Plano.
Okay.
And so my practice was on that side of the Metroplex.
So how did you get to Texas?
Oh, boy. I met my husband when I was 16.
Oh.
Yeah, and we've been together ever since. I guess I'm not big on change, apparently.
Right? How did y'all meet? You were 16. Were you in the same school or?
My cousin, her best friend was roommates with my current husband.
Ah.
And so he went to school in Minneapolis. My husband grew up in South Dakota, Kevin, and he went to college in Minneapolis. And she actually met him before I did, and she's like, "You've got to meet this guy. He's perfect. He is so perfect for you."
Aww.
And we met, and we've been together ever since.
How many years has that been then?
Oh, goodness.
Or how many years have y'all been married now?
32.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all have kiddos?
We do. We have 2 amazing children. We have a son who's 27 and a daughter who's 24.
Oh, so you're empty nesters.
Yes, we love it.
Okay, so I told you we don't edit, so they're going to hear that.
I know. It's so great. They're doing so amazing in their lives.
What do they do?
My son is trying to be a director. He got a degree from UNT in media arts. And my daughter is in fitness. She's a fitness guru for a revolutionary fitness equipment. It's brand new technology that's coming out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
That is really cool. Was she into fitness when she was growing up?
She was. She's always been a volleyball player. She was always in the paper here in Farmersville, which is always so awesome. And she got her degree over at UNT, and one of the portions of her degree was kinesiology, and she has really loved fitness.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I bet, I hear, my kids are still younger, so I hear it's a really cool experience once your kids grow up and move out and start doing life and get to be more friends with your kids.
It is great. It is truly great. Yeah. They're just so busy now that we don't really get to see them very much.
Right.
So it's always nice during the holidays to be able to have everybody in the same roof.
Right. Okay, so I'm still trying to get you from
Yes.
there to Texas. So how did you do that? How did you make that transition?
So after my husband graduated from college, he got a job offer to come to Texas.
Okay.
And at that time we were engaged. I was 19.
Oh, you're so young.
I know, so young, right? And he took that opportunity to come to Dallas, and I said, well, let's go. We have nothing holding us back. And so we moved the 1,000 miles and set up our little home here in Texas.
What did your families think about that? About you moving all the way to Texas?
Well, my dad, God bless him, he's my buddy. He just said, whatever makes you happy. My mom, it's 1,000 miles, and you're 19 years old, so it was a little bit of a struggle, but she loves Kevin, and it was a great move.
Oh, and I bet that really did strengthen your relationship.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of a make or break kind of thing.
Absolutely. You don't have anyone to run home to if you get in fights. You got to just deal with it on yourself. It was great. It was great for our relationship.
Yeah, you can only go for a drive around the neighborhood. There's no one's house to go drive to.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere. We were here by ourselves.
Oh, that's really special. Okay, so you've been married for 32 years. What do you think the key to marriage is? To staying married that long? That's so awesome today.
Yeah, I think it's just enjoying being together.
Mm-hmm. Just spending time.
Yeah, just spending time. We have our things that we like that we have common interests, but also separate.
Right. What are some of your common interests that you do together?
So we like to travel a lot. We like to boat. We've got a lake house, and so we love to go over to the lake house.
Oh, how fun. You're so tan. I love your skin tone. I can see that you love the water.
I love the water. Thankfully, we just got back from our condo in Florida, and I love the beach.
Oh, I know. Well, that's nice that you have your condo there. I mean, I was trying to book summer vacations, and everything is getting booked up so quickly right now.
Yes.
Everybody's getting back to that.
Yep. I think everyone wants to go and have a little bit of family time and get away from their home.
Well, you mentioned that your daughter was in the paper a lot here in Farmersville.
Yeah.
When did you guys move to Farmersville?
We moved to Farmersville in 2006.
Okay. So how old were they? Did they do most of their education here then?
They did. Yep. I think our son was in 7th grade and our daughter was in 3rd.
Oh, 7th grade.
Yeah.
That's a hard move.
It was a tough move. It was a tough move.
So they moved from Plano ISD to Farmersville ISD? Oh, what was that like?
It had its challenges, really. They did amazing. The school really embraced us, and they have great friends, and it was a really good transition for them.
Did they want to make the move, or did they do it? Did your 7th grader kind of do it kicking and screaming a little?
Well, we were kind of ready for a move. Plano's a great town, but it just got too big for us. My husband grew up on a farm in South Dakota and had the luxury of being able to go outside and run around and just be a kid and hunt and fish and all these kind of things. So he really wanted that for our children. And so we started looking for land. So we just had a requirement of just land. And so that took us all over the suburbs of the Metroplex. We looked in Salina, we looked in Prosper, we looked south Dallas. We finally came to Farmersville, and we loved it here. Aww. It's such a great community.
What was it that drew you here? Because you looked at a lot of great communities, but what drew you to Farmersville?
I liked how friendly it was. I love the downtown. We got to walk around and talk to the shop owners, and everyone's just had a really great attitude. It was just a great little community.
This downtown is magical.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's
I agree.
The word I constantly use to describe this downtown.
Yeah.
There are no other words for it, and it's tucked away off of 380, and it's like something special happens when you exit off of 380.
Agreed.
To come downtown.
It's a great little town.
Oh. So what was it like raising your kids through the school system? Because there may be people that are watching this that are considering moving to Farmersville like you. And so if they have young kids, they're looking at the schools. So what was your experience like?
We have nothing but great experience in the school system. What I think was so wonderful for our children is they could do anything they wanted. If they wanted to do band, they could do band. If they wanted to do any sports, our kids did sports all season long, whether it was football or basketball and track and volleyball and, track for my daughter. They can contribute and they can participate in anything that they like. There's a lot of competition in Plano Frisco schools.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think they're great athletes. I think they're great academically, but this gave them an opportunity to just fulfill whatever they had an interest in.
And get to try different things. Yeah. And not necessarily, sometimes you have to make the team and those sorts of things in the bigger places, but really getting to plug in and be a part of it. And I feel like you get more one-on-one type coaching and teaching too when you have a smaller environment like that too.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite story from your kiddos growing up, something that happened, or a teacher or a coach or someone that touched their lives when they were growing up here?
Well, probably the one that comes to mind is my daughter. She got really involved in volleyball in her junior year, loved it. And one of the coaches just kind of made the remark and said, if you really like it, why don't you just sign up for club, and that way you can do it all year long. So we did that. We took her and joined several clubs in Plano so she could continue her volleyball career. And I think when she was in 10th grade, there was a coaching change, and Coach Davis came to town. And she and him have just the most special relationship. Aww. He really impacted her life tremendously. And I'm so grateful to him for that.
Oh, what did he do specifically? Was it just the way he coached her, the encouragement?
Yeah, it was more than just the coaching. Mm-hmm. It was, helping her grow as a person, helping her grow as a leader, helping her, interact with other girls and just how to mentor people. She was a setter, so she was kind of in charge of the, making sure that the team did what they did.
Right. That's a big job.
Yeah, it was a big job. Role. Yeah. And so I think they had a lot of conversations that I was never privy to, obviously. So anytime you talk about him, she just lights up. Oh. She just loves him. He's just such a special coach.
That's so awesome. I'm always praying that God will put other adults in my kids' lives that will lead them in the right direction, because they don't always listen to us, but they'll listen to other people. And so I'm always hoping that those people are placed in their lives for that very reason. Yeah. And they hear it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So I know I met you at the Rotary Club. And so what are some of the community things that you're involved in?
Yeah, Rotary, I love the Rotary organization. I think I've been a member there for 8 or 10 years. Been president several times, always been on the board. I like to find opportunities to be able to give back. Mm-hmm. And Rotary is a great opportunity to be able to give back to the community.
It really is. I'm in our Rotary Club in Greenville as well. And so I'm a fellow Rotarian, and it's just near and dear to my heart, just the whole motto of service above self.
Service above self.
It's been really fun coming in and plugging into this Rotary Club here. June will call me and she's like, okay, this is what we're doing this week. Can you come? So I love it. I get to pop in and meet everybody and see everyone at the Rotary Club here. What are some of your favorite projects that you guys have done with the Rotary Club here in Farmersville?
We do a lot of cleanup projects. We do we support the children's Christmas program. I can't think of the name of it. I apologize. But we do a lot of trying to give back and clean up our community.
So what inspired you to get involved in Rotary? Did someone invite you to come?
Yeah, I actually think it was June. If I remember right, it might have been June.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
She's so incredible.
She is.
She loves this community like no one I know. It's really cool to have advocates like that out in the world to bring people here.
Yeah.
And she's a gatherer of people.
She is.
Always. So did you like being president? What did you think about that? I was president of our club one time, just once. You said you've done it multiple times. So,
well, in Farmersville, you tend to do it several times in a row. That's
a good thing, though. That means they like what you're doing.
Or they just don't want to volunteer, so you have to keep doing it. No, being the president is interesting.
It is.
You get a lot of exposure to what's going on internationally, nationally, in the district, and it's great to see the impact that organization has all over the world.
Yes. That is really cool. We have Rotary friends in Cozumel, and so
that's awesome.
we do a service project there, and I love having those relationships. Like, we've gotten to know them. We've been doing it for like 10 years now, and so it's just, no matter what, you have that common connection of Rotary, and you have the same hearts about service above self.
Yeah.
So it is really cool to be a part of something that's bigger than you.
Yep.
Were you a part of organizations like that when you were in high school?
I was not.
No.
I grew up in a town, and there were about 700 people in my graduating class.
Oh.
It was huge.
700?
700. Yeah.
Wow. That's a big class.
It was a big class. So you kind of get lost in a big class like that.
Right. That's probably kind of what drew you into
Absolutely.
to Farmersville for
Yeah.
your kiddos,
Yep.
and to not be lost in the crowd.
Yep.
So what were some of the things you did in high school then? What were some of your interests?
I was a gymnast.
Really? Oh, how cool. Okay, well, this all makes sense with your daughter being in fitness and you were a gymnast. Okay, apples don't fall far from their trees.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
Did you compete with that or go to competition?
I did, yeah. I started in gymnastics when I was around 8. And I competed all the way up until my junior year, and then I had a knee injury that was not able to continue.
Oh, how did you handle that?
I was probably ready. I enjoyed gymnastics. Was I the best? No. So I probably reached my potential at that point anyway, So,
but it's fun. I mean, and it's good to be, I think it keeps you off the streets
Yeah.
too when you're growing up. But it's also it's really good to have those team environments. Were you on a competitive type team, or were you doing more solo?
I did all around competition. So I did every event.
That just kept you hopping
Yeah.
all the time. Your mom was probably sad to see you go, but probably happy she wasn't
Right.
driving you to all the different events.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, so what are some other things about you? Tell us more things about Patti.
Oh gosh. I'm really not that exciting.
Listen, when you walked into the room, though, the room lit up. So I'm like, I know people have a heart for you and what you do and what you give back to this community.
I can't tell you how much I love this community. I really do.
Yeah.
I grew up in Blaine. Like I said, I graduated in a class of 700. As a young adult, I felt pretty invisible. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And then we lived in Plano. We didn't really know our neighbors that just lived a fence over.
Right.
And so coming to Farmersville, I love going to Brookshire's.
Yes.
And a 15-minute quick grocery run will turn into a 45-minute because I see someone going down every aisle.
Yes.
And we have to chit-chat a little bit. And so I like that sense of being part of something. And Farmersville is just a great little place.
It really is. I love that analogy, going into the store and not being able to get out, My kids know that too. I'm not going to be gone 15 minutes.
I can't go out with hair that's not, makeup's got to be on because I know I'm going to run into somebody.
That's right. You've got to run to McKinney if you're going to try to do
exactly,
that.
Right. Yeah.
Or you run to Greenville. Either way, but you can't go.
Yeah.
You cannot go to Brookshire's in Farmersville without hair and makeup.
That's right.
all day.
That's right. At least looking half decent.
Yes. What are some of the things that you do love about Farmersville, or maybe even some things that you hope to see come to Farmersville?
I think the thing that I take away from my experience in Farmersville professionally is this whole community has embraced my practice. And I'm so blessed. I really, truly am so blessed by all the clients that we have. And I really love all my clients. I just really feel like I need to find a way to give back. And so I try to give back to our community through Rotary. It will never equal what this community's given to me, but it's at least making me feel I can give back a little bit of something.
Oh, I love that so much. You probably have some really hard conversations with people too, just helping them navigate through different financial situations.
Correct. Yes.
And I mean, it's very personal to hand over your finances to someone.
Yes. Absolutely. I think, outside of your doctor, maybe your CPA is one of your more intimate relationships. We tend to know a lot.
Yes.
And we keep that to ourselves. Mm-hmm. What happens between our clients stays with us.
Right. And in a small town like this, if it didn't, you wouldn't last long. So you definitely had that integrity and kept that going.
Yeah.
What is it like having 6 other employees?
It's a challenge. Honestly, that's probably been my biggest struggle in growing my practice, is just the personnel side of it. If I could hire 2 people tomorrow, I would do it in a minute. We are just needing more qualified people. Mm-hmm. I like to give my employees as much flexibility as I can, mm-hmm. so they get an opportunity to work from home a couple days a week. And the ones that I have right now are great. My employees right now, I'm very blessed.
Man, it makes such a difference when you have people that work for you that are on the same team and moving in the same direction, have the same common goal, and have that culture.
Especially when our deadlines in our world, they're hard and fast. There's no deadline's a deadline, and so I've got a team that just really works as hard as I ask them to get things done.
Man, I don't think the IRS really, they don't really budge on their dates, do they?
No, they don't.
They seem to have a pretty strict policy on that. So that's a lot of high pressure and stress.
Yeah.
And you're managing people, and I'm sure you have to manage your clients too and say,
right.
Don't forget, you have this deadline coming.
Absolutely.
So what was it like having your practice and being a mom?
I think for a working mother, I think a career in public accounting worked out great. There's been so many people, and I think if we all look back at our life, there's so many people that we've been blessed with, and that God has put in front of our lives to help us out. My mentor was Perry Kaufman, and when we moved down to Dallas, I worked for him, and I was the little girl in the back. It was just him and I, and he was fantastic. Mm-hmm. He was such a great mentor to me, and really helped me, with the stress and how to deal with projects and how to make sure that projects get done on time. And one of the things that he would let me do is work from home. So that was great as a working mom. It's a hard emotional line, as you've got little kids, right? And your heart wants to be with them, but you also want to have a professional career. And being a public accountant really helped me with that. I could still be the mom I wanted to be. So I would get home at 6, see the little ones, give them their bath, and then work from 9 to 3 in the morning to get that job done. But it was great.
And that's just what we do, so we can have that time with our kiddos. And, man, the older they get, the more I realize there's an end date to this.
I know. They grow up way too fast. It's such a cliche. It really is, but they do. They grow up way too fast.
I can see that. That is very, very true. He was kind of ahead of his time letting you work from home. Mm-hmm. At that point, it's not like today where it's completely acceptable in most all careers.
Yeah,
now.
and we didn't work remotely.
Right.
So I had this big suitcase I'd lug home at night and take it back in the next morning and all that.
That is really, I can see why he's near and dear to your heart, letting you do that and letting you still be the mom that you wanted to be. And it is hard to be a career mom. So.
It is. It's a challenge.
Do you let a lot of your employees work from home some now too?
Absolutely.
Did you already work from home some, or did COVID change things for you?
No, we had remote logins as well.
Okay, so you kind of already had that.
Yeah, prior to COVID.
Do you have mostly women that work for you, or a variety, men and women, with your employees?
We've had men in the past. Right now, we're just a woman. My husband also works for us as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, how does that work?
We work great together.
Was he already in that business as well, or how did he get there? How did you let him into the business, Patti?
He is amazing. You should interview him sometime. He's a very great background. He does all the sales and marketing. Part of the struggle in growing your business is how do you have time to attend everything you need to do on a marketing level and the chambers and all of that to grow your practice and still get the work done.
Right.
So we kind of divide and conquer. So he does a lot of that, and he's amazing at it.
I love that. You've been married over 30 years. You work together every single day. So perfect.
We have
team.
our challenges.
Oh, I'm sure.
We have, nothing's perfect, but.
Do you have some ground rules Like, are there rules at the house and then rules at the office?
No, not really. Not really.
No.
Maybe we need them.
No. Maybe that might be a good thing to implement. I don't know. It sounds like it's working really well for you guys.
Really well.
Well, I told you at the beginning of the show, I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 20, and I'm going to ask you a random question.
Okay.
So, it'll be your final question. What number between 1 and 20 would you like for me to ask you?
Well, my lucky number is 13. So let's do question 13.
Okay. Number 13. If you could change one thing about your upbringing, what would it be?
Oh, my goodness. You know, I know a lot of people say this, but honestly, I would change nothing. My upbringing was all about family and extended family. And I didn't really know that you had second or third cousins. I just thought they were our first cousins. So we were always brought up at the cabin with family, hanging out, and I look back and was so blessed to have the upbringing we did.
That's so special. Not everyone can say that. And, you know, sometimes even if you had hard things and bad things happen, it is still who shaped you into who you are today.
Right.
Either way.
Yep.
So I love that.
And family's the most important thing.
It is. You're exactly right. For sure. Well, Patti, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and talking about Farmersville and what you love. And thank you so much for giving back to the community the way that you do.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on your show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for watching Heart of Farmersville. This video series, which is designed to celebrate Farmersville, Texas, is spearheaded by REMAX 3D Real Estate.